Rick had some very interesting bush tucker ingredients in that film, and I doubt many of you will be able to find them in a supermarket near you. However, we do get great bush tucker things of our own in the UK, and probably one that you find everywhere at the moment is blackberries, and I'm going to do a little blackberry Charlotte.
Nice.
It was supposed to be named after George III's Mrs. Queen Charlotte, and I thought I'd do a little Charlotte, apple Charlotte. So a little, blackberry Charlotte. Normally done with apples, of course, but bread puddings were hugely popular in the 18th century. So a little bit of sugar in there, and we've got a little bit of water, just a touch there, and just soften these down just a touch. That's going to go in there. So the base of a Charlotte is bread. There we go, and we're just going to use the crusts of the bread, or remove the crust, and cut this into oblongs, which go in these little moulds here. So I need 3 for each one, and then I need a small square.
Oh, mind your fingers.
There you go. If you're Daniel, you've probably got a cutter, but you need a square or a hexagon, and a large one. There you go. And then we want those. And then we've got some melted butter there. We just combine it all together. So, been spotted, talent spotted, age just 14.
Yeah.
As an actress.
Yeah.
Good start.
It was a good start. It was for a kids series called Under the Bedclothes. Yeah. Which was it was like a book review program, and I could play the drums, which is kind of why I got the part to play Gail, and I did that, and then went into a program called Just Us when I was the latter end of 14, which was a Kay Mellor written children's program, and then at 16,
just a small matter of just a little program.
Just a little program. I was working in a well-known burger bar at the time, and I went for an audition for Coronation Street, and I got it. And I started that when I was 16. I carried on working in my well-known burger bar for about a year because I
really,
thought,
while you were still doing that?
Yeah, on the tills and everything. And,
and did you have one of those headsets on?
No, they didn't have headsets in my time. Oh, you think I'm younger than what I am? Yeah.
Go in those burger bars much?
No, of course not. and then I did 5.5 years in Corrie.
I mean, as an actress, I mean, that's got to be the best start in it, really, because it's repetitive.
I mean, it is. Yeah, it is. It's repetitive. You learn, you really do learn your trade there. You know, people go to drama school. I didn't get that pleasure, but I learned how to hit marks and find lights and learn lines incredibly quickly and self-direct, and it was a real training ground for me. I didn't understand at the time what a big deal it was. I don't think you can do at that age. Yeah. And then at 21, I was like, right, I think I've done that now. I'm going to leave.
You're going to leave. I mean, you also with a program like that, you're learning off so many other people. I mean, that must have been a great start as well. And you're meeting some,
amazing characters of actors. You know, you get every kind of actor on that show. You get people who are, consummate professionals who, know their lines all the time, and then, there's people who kind of come in and are really nervous for just one episode, and you're mixing with all sorts of different people, and yeah, you learn quite a lot.
I'm just going to show you that. That's all. I filled it all with the blackberries. I put loads of butter on the bread.
How do you do 3 things at once? How do you talk to me, cook, and explain all the food at the same time? I think it's amazing. Sorry, you're amazing, James Martin.
It's not. The secret is don't wear white trousers when you're doing blackberries, because they're all over the place. But I managed to miss everything so far. I'm going to do a little custard. The custard for that is milk and cream and vanilla and eggs and sugar. I'm just going to make the custard while they're in the oven. They want about sort of 3 minutes in the oven, nice and hot. And you were talking about learning off other people.
Yes.
No more so than what you're doing at the moment. Tell us about the new programme that you're doing.
I'm doing a show called Mount Pleasant, which is on Sky One, 9 p.m. on Wednesday nights. And basically, it's like a proper who's who of the British TV scene. We've got Bobby Ball in it, we've got Pauline Collins, who was in Shirley Valentine, you've got the main characters, Sally Lindsay, who was in Coronation Street, and Dan Ryan, who's pretty much been in everything.
Lisa Tarbuck. I mean,
Lisa Tarbuck.
I was watching it last night, and you recognise 3 or 4 people, and then all of a sudden somebody walks through the door and you recognise them as well.
That's it. Basically, it's about Lisa and Dan, who's Sally Lindsay and Dan Ryan, and it's about their life. And so you've got their parents, you've got their best friends. I play Sally's best friend and her boss as well. And it's just about their lives in this lovely fictional place called Mount Pleasant. And it's funny, and it's dramatic also at the same time. I'm kind of more the drama element, I think, rather than the funny element. I'm not very funny.
But the storylines that they have, particularly it's based around the couple, I mean, it's like everyday life.
It really is. And Sarah Hooper, who wrote it, has just managed to capture actual, real-life conversation and put it into a script. It's so real. And I'm a bit obsessed with Twitter, so I watch it. I look at Twitter as I'm watching the programme.
See, I don't understand that.
Oh, it's all right, you don't have to.
Right, okay.
Let it pass you by, look.
I don't get it.
But
also, my hands are too big to start typing everywhere.
Get a big, massive keyboard.
Don't do those. I do the keyboard, but I can't do the little phone thing.
You do it on the keyboard. You don't have to do it on your phone.
All right, I thought it was all phone thing.
No, you do it on your computer. And so many people are tweeting saying, oh, that is my life. I know those people. That's how I speak. There was a great bath scene on Wednesday's episode where Lisa and Dan just get a little bit drunk in the bath, have a laugh, singing Oasis tracks, and Dan Ryan got his bot out. And quite a few people tweeted that they've done similar kind of things. And I think that's what it's doing. It's capturing real life, and people are identifying with it.
But, I mean, looking at your career, TV's been a huge, a theme all the way through it. Most would do a mix and match of sort of, the theatre and TV. You just concentrated on just one, or you quite fancy doing a bit of theatre as well?
I quite fancy doing a little bit of theatre. I've dipped in a little bit, but so far, each job I have kind of leads on to the next job. I don't get many gaps in between. So, yeah, telly's kind of my mainstay. I've done a little bit of film.
Because you've done a bit of film, but with Dustin Hoffman and Emma Thompson?
Yeah, my scenes are with Emma Thompson. Blinking, you'll miss me, but I've done a film.
You've done a film,
yes. Yes.
Right, well, I'm making a bit of custard, or as Daniel Galmiche calls it, crème anglaise. Crème anglaise.
Nice.
It's custard. And Pat, this is for you. This is a little homage to custard. All will be revealed when you watch this next week. This week is custard. And a little birdie's told me she's put it back on the menu because I banned it. There you go. Right, so the idea with custard is you want to whisk it. So once you put the egg yolks back in, you want to whisk it enough so it just starts to thicken up. And you can tell that as it starts to thicken. It should just coat the back of the spoon. I actually just use a whisk because I find it easier, but the texture changes. You can see that thick in the bottom of the pan there.
Isn't it easy to get custard wrong?
The secret of it is just you can overcook it. That's all it is.
Right.
And then you end up with this thick custard. That's it. So allow it to cool down. That's how you make custard. We've got our puddings, which should be ready in the oven. Now, these things you can make beforehand. The secret of this, you've got to really cover the bread in plenty of butter, otherwise it'll stick. So.
I love puddings.
So the idea is you just press them down a little bit as well, otherwise they souffle up. So press them down a touch. And flip this over.
If you had sweet or savoury for the rest of your life, which would it be?
There's no joke. I just live on bread and butter if I have to. In fact, you take the bread away if you want.
Just the butter?
Yes. I'm not fussed really, but a little bit of that. So you've got the blackberries on the side, but remember these are. You can go out hunting for these. They're on roadsides and stuff like that. And people in my village, if you see me, they all look at me as if I'm weird, because I go off on a sort of morning and early evening on my little Segway around the village with a carrier bag. I'm actually going hunting for blackberries because I don't pick the ones on the bottom of the road. I pick the ones on the top of the bush. You see?
You don't do the bottom bush, do you? Because that's where foxes and
well, it's dogs mainly. And there you have it. Apple charlotte in 5 minutes from scratch.
Can I dive
charlotte
in?
even.
All right, I'm going to go straight into it.
I think I know what fruit was after 30 years of cooking, wouldn't you? Dive into that. It'll be very hot.
So don't burn yourself. Bit of custard.
A bit of custard, but do you want a bit more custard on it?
Yeah, can you pour some on there?
There you go.
Brill.
This moment in time, you can just nod because it's hot, or shake your head.
Oh my gosh, that's really nice. The bread's like a
Thanks
kind
for being
of
so surprised. Lovely, right?
Yeah, but when you put bread into it.
At the end of the show, because we're facing food heaven, lobster and an absolute classic dish, a lobster thermidor. The lobster is cooked and covered with a mixture of cream sauce made with white wine, mustard, butter, lemon juice, and topped with cheese, and put back into the grill and served with a Caesar salad on the side. Well, she could be facing food hell. Mackerel or something a little different. A mustard and honey glazed mackerel. The fish is coated in honey and mustard, placed under a fiercely hot grill, and served with chunky pieces of avocado mixed with lime juice, chives, and topped with double cream and watercress. Some of the viewers and the guys in the studio get to decide Angela's fate today. Daniel, are you going to go for the homard or the mackerel?
I like them both, actually, but yeah, homard.
The lobster. I think
Yes.
it's got to be. Pat, what about you?
Lobster.
Lobster, there you go.
Lobster.
But you have to wait to the end of the
Good
show
choice.
to see the final result. Right, we've reached the Northwest heat.